All right. Today I am talking about outlines. To be honest, outlines are something I had a pretty bad opinion of for a really long time. I knew people when I was in college and I think even in high school who like their house was just full of note cards and they were constantly laying them out and rearranging them and staring at them and never getting around to writing anything. And for me, I've talked about the difference between being a writer and being an author. The writer is the job of actually writing, and the author is like the design of architecting the story. I always tend toward the writer side, and like I love to just sit down and write and discover and see where the story will go. Um, but without that authorship, without that having a sense of where this story is going to go, you end up meandering all over the place. So I have learned recently that what you need to do is find a balance between pure discovery writing and outlining that never produces anything. Both extremes are probably ineffective, and haven't published a novel yet. But this is where I'm at right now. And so for me, I still lean more towards the discovery side of things. But I'm learning that an outline can be a very powerful thing even in a very simple form. So right now, I have a novel in progress. I'm taking a break from it because I've given it to 5 or 6 friends to read through and give me their feedback. So to keep myself from touching it, to keep my mind off of it, I'm writing a short story right now. And I started with an outline. As you can see, this is an envelope from a bank statement I got, looks like. And I just want to talk real quick about how I made this and how it's been helping me. So I had this idea for a short story. I had a sense of the world I wanted to be in, and I sat down and just tried to write it. It ended up being about 2,000 words long and really fell flat. I was super disappointed because I was so excited about this idea I had, and then it just did not come to life at all. But writing that little bit really helped me to understand the setting and the characters. It just also helped me understand that I hadn't figured out the story yet. And so after being sad about this for a week or so, I decided, I have all these ideas of things that should happen. I'm going to try to put them out in a chronology. So here on the right side, I just put the 7 events. It ended up being 7. It didn't start. I think it started being 6. They go in this order. But this story is one where the protagonist is an investigative journalist. And so there are things in the past that he doesn't know about when the story opens. And he's going to discover those things. So this is a chronology of things that happen in the world. So I wrote it all out in chronological order. This needs to happen before that. This needs to happen. And then I came over here, and there's just these 4 little bullet points here of start at 4 with 3 having just happened, move to 5, reveal 2, then 1, 6, 7. That's my outline. And it's gibberish to you because you haven't read this part. But after I wrote that out, I wrote in plain text, sort of translated this into what it actually means. And it's just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sentences, 2 of which are only 1 word long. But it's sort of like, it surprised me because it reads like the back cover of a text or a synopsis of a short story. And when I wrote that down and I reread it, I thought, wow, that's a story I really want to read. And I'm super excited to write it. But the thing I've really learned from doing this outline is that this is not constrictive to me at all as a discovery writer. I always thought an outline would be like a GPS, second lane from the right, next left, 25 miles an hour, all these prescriptive like restrictions you have to labor within. And if you're writing and you discover something new, oh no, we can't turn. GPS says we have. But that actually hasn't been my experience at all. This is much more like vague. This is like how the crow flies, right? We know where we start. We know where we end for each section of the story. But as I'm writing it out, fleshing it out, I'm about halfway through right now. And halfway through is 5,000 words at this point. I'm discovering things as I go, and it's really helping me. I can keep an eye on this and know where I want to go. And as ideas come to me as I'm writing, I can just quickly check in. Will this take me to my destination, or will this take me on a tangent that is not worthwhile? And if I can't tell, I always write it. I always explore the tangents because I want my first draft to be as big as possible, because so much of my editing process is just cutting. It's so much easier to take things out, as painful as that is, than it is to add things in and make them feel natural. So that's been outlining for me. So far, I'm really enjoying it. When I finish this story and start editing it, I will probably give you an update on how it's going. But I hope that's helpful. I hope you try out outlining, and I hope it works for you.